So I went ice fishing yesterday and didn't catch a single fish. So what a better way to make myself feel better than to buy fishing stuff. So that's exactly what I did. And in today's unbagging video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite bird, a hairy beaver, and some good looking shads. But first, here's some clips from yesterday. My battery for my auger, still 4 inches long right here, 3.5, 4 inches. Isolate the bowl and prevent it from freezing. So I got my first flag today. Never mind. Keep the fish still on here. Oh no! It's kinda boring. So I was out on the ice for a good 7 hours yesterday, and like you just saw in those clips, I didn't even catch a fish. And so I went to Dick's Sporting Goods later that evening and picked up a few things. And to make myself feel better, I went out and spent just about $200 at Dick's Sporting Goods today. Wait a minute. $69.99. Julia, what are you doing to me? Yeah, look at that. Damn it, Julia. I hope you guys can read that. This is $59.99 right there. Look on the receipt. Right at the bottom of the receipt, the very last item. It says $69.99. Alright, so honestly that's no big deal, but starting off with what I'm most excited about is the Beaver Bait. Once I saw this thing, saw that little lip, I knew it was a wake bait. And I have big plans for this beaver here. One of my favorite things to do is fish at night. I just can't get enough of it. I love doing it. And so this spring, this summer, and this fall, I'm definitely gonna be whipping out the beaver and throwing it at night sometimes. This bait here is roughly 6 1/4 inches long, roughly an ounce. And as you guys can hear, has that loud one knocker rattle in it. So as this kind of swims through the water, you're just gonna be able to hear. And at Bass Pro, they actually had 2 different versions. They had like a prop tail, like a whopper plopper, and then they just had like this normal beaver style, and I thought this beaver style was way cooler than that whopper plopper. If I wanted to get a whopper plopper, I would just get a whopper plopper, but I thought that realistic beaver tail is sweet. So anyway, super excited for this bait in the spring. I know I'm going to catch some fish on it. Not to sound overconfident or anything, but I'm even going to throw this for some big smallmouth, hopefully. Now, moving on to the 3 kind of boring ice fishing things I bought. I bought a little Clio here, just in straight gold. I have another little Clio that's in blue and silver, but I just figured I'd pick it up. They're just a couple bucks. Got a red Swedish pimple. I still have yet to use a Swedish pimple this year, but I have like a dozen different colors and different sizes. This one's just in straight red and 1/10 of an ounce. By the way, this is in 1/4 ounce, the little Clio. Bought some floating pink worms from Berkeley Power Bait. These are 3 inches long, they're floating, and they're in bubblegum color. And I have a couple places in mind I want to throw this, a couple creeks that I think I'm just gonna hook it up to a small hook and let it float down the creek, and hopefully a trout will come up and just grab it. But that's all the ice fishing gear I got, not too exciting there. I bought these Swimbaits here specifically for smallmouth. I bought 2 of these from 10,000 Fish. They're called the Shimmer Swimmers. About 1 chartreuse and 1 in natural. These are both 3.5 inches long, but these things advertise it. You can put them like on the back of a little jig, but what I think I'm gonna do is use these specifically to drop shot the river. Cool thing about the river is all you have to do is when you're drop shotting and using these paddle tail swim baits, nose hook it and keep your line tight, and the current will just make the paddle tail swim on its own. You really don't even have to do anything, and the river will put action on the bait for you. But that's literally the reason why I bought both of these, just to drop shot the river. One thing cool too is it comes with this kind of like aluminum foil in the bait, which gives it a really kind of realistic shine. I honestly thought that was kind of neat. Now to the good looking shads from Reaction Innovations. And this bait is light blue on top, chartreuse on bottom with silver flake, and I believe this is 4.5 or 5 inches. It doesn't actually say how long it is on the package, but anyway, I bought this specifically for smallmouth because I saw Matt Allen from Tactical Bassin use this exact color. Don't know if it was this exact bait or not. Didn't look like a Reaction Innovations bait. It looked more like a Kitech Easy Shiner, but it was in this color. And this is something that I would just throw on like a little 1/4 ounce jig head. Nothing too fancy here, just a good looking swim bait, I guess. I've never actually used Reaction Innovations before, but now moving on to largemouth bass. I actually gained a lot of confidence in this lure this past year in 2020, and that is the chatterbait. And I don't have any chatterbaits in this red color, and I thought this red color was super cool. Have no idea if it's gonna work for bass or not. This color actually caught me, as the saying goes. Some lures catch fishermen. This color caught me. I don't even know if it's gonna work well for catching largemouth, but who knows. As you guys can tell, I got 2 different kinds. I got the Elite series and then just the original chatterbait. One was like $4.99 and the other one was like $6.99. Both in fire crawl color. One is in 1/2 ounce. This one is in 3/8 of an ounce. And I'm gonna do a side-by-side comparison this spring, I believe, with these two. See if it's worth the extra $2. Alright, just got some lure wraps here. Came 2 in a package, and I believe these were, I don't know, I can't figure it out, but just a lure wrap. Put some lures in here, stick it around your rod, whatever. Boring. Now this is a new brand that I've never heard of before, and I've been going to Dick's for a while now, but it's from Queen Lures here. These are tungsten jigs just because lead is illegal here in New Hampshire. And these are advertised as flipping jigs, and this one here is in 1/2 ounce in Black Magic color, and this one here is 3/8 of an ounce in Tennessee Craw color. I love green pumpkin and orange. I think that color works amazing up here in New Hampshire. And to be straight up with you guys, not a big fan of black and blue. I know a lot of people like black and blue. I don't. But... And I've been watching this YouTuber, Greg Blanchard, recently, and I don't know how I missed this guy recently, but he's just flown way under my radar. And I was watching one of his videos, and he was using these Gary Yamamoto's flapping hogs on the back of a jig. So these are exactly what I'm going to be throwing on the back of that Queen's jig. And on top of that, they were on sale at Dick's. Only for like $1 off, but... And I got 2 different colors. I got Watermelon Magic here. And then, actually, let's just take it out of the package and show you guys. This is Watermelon Magic. And I really like all these appendages here. I don't know, when I saw this on Greg Blanchard's jig, I'm like, man, that looks super nice. So I guess copying is the ultimate form of flattery, I guess, so I'm gonna straight up copy him. But that was the watermelon magic. Let me take out the watermelon red and black plate. This is a slightly darker, and I'm not the biggest fan of watermelon. I prefer green pumpkin, but they didn't have any green pumpkin. They actually only had these two colors there. And I bought some Kitech round jig heads here, 1/4 of an ounce. Not much to say about this, but I'm going to be putting these on the back of these Kitechs. Again, let me just rig it up. Why do I talk about it? Just rig it up. And there you go. That's all. Gonna be fishing for some smallmouth with this color. Last, but certainly not least, I picked up a new rod just because I needed a medium heavy rod for relatively cheap, and I'm going to be pairing it up with my Daiwa CG80. Actually one of my favorite reels. Not because of its performance, it performs fine, actually it performs great, but I just like the way it looks. Same with this rod. I told myself I wouldn't spend less than $100 on a rod, but here I am spending less than $100 on a rod. But I just thought this looked cool with the split grip cork here, foam on the bottom. And it came with this rod sock too, so that was pretty sweet. So I got a favorite Whitebird 7.4, and I believe it's a medium heavy. Yeah, 7.4 medium heavy. A fast action tip, and it's could be an extra fast action tip. The tip is pretty flimsy, but what I like about this rod is its lightness. And to be honest with you, I don't have much to say about it because I've never used a favorite rod before. This is just my first impressions type stuff. Like I said, I just like how light it is. I like that split grip cork. I thought this cork and the foam was pretty cool. And I thought it was only $60, Julia, not $70, but... And here we go. In this rod specifically, I'm going to be throwing things like jigs, spinner baits, underspins, Texas rigs, stuff like that. I'm not going to be throwing any treble hook baits on this, like a crankbait or any really topwater walking bait, just because I like it more of like a medium power for those types of applications. So, oh yeah, I went to the bait shop to get shiners for ice fishing yesterday, and I picked up some vintage lures just because I thought they were super cool. So it's kind of like bonus lures, I guess. We got a 1/2 ounce rattle trap here, super old one, Bill Lewis edition. I don't know if that means anything. I'm not going to use it though, it's just going to stay in the container. Got a rabble rouser. I haven't even heard of this lure before, but it just looked pretty funky, so I'm like, yeah, what the heck, I'll buy it. Next one here, Bagley's Killer Diving B1262. Bagley's Diving Killer B2. I don't know, just thought it looked pretty cool. Again, not going to be using it, going to be keeping it in the package. Eventually I'm going to have a tackle wall, and I'm just going to go in the vintage lure section. But yeah, that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Peace.